The barking began without warning, sharp and relentless, slicing through the quiet of the forest like an alarm that refused to be ignored. In a place where trees stood still and time felt slow, that sound carried urgency, fear, and something deeper that tightened the chest before the mind could explain it. The police dog had stopped suddenly at an old, towering tree, its body tense, paws dug into the earth, eyes locked on a strange, swollen lump bulging unnaturally from the trunk. It was not just wood and bark. Something about it felt wrong, heavy with a secret that did not belong to the forest. If you believe that kindness, instincts, and second chances can change lives, take a moment to like this video, share it, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this exist because someone chose to pay attention when it mattered most. The officer assigned to the K9 unit had seen many false alarms over the years. Animals trapped, hollow trees, old nests mistaken for danger. But this time was different. The dog refused to move, refused to calm, its barking growing more desperate with each second. Saliva dripped from its mouth, claws scratching at the bark as if trying to reach something hidden inside. The forest felt tense now, the air thick, birds gone silent, as if nature itself was holding its breath. The lump on the tree was dark, rough, almost burned looking, bulging outward in a way no normal growth ever should. It looked like the tree was wounded, scarred by something violent long ago. The officer's hand tightened around the knife, hesitation flickering across their face. Cutting into a living tree was not standard procedure, but neither was ignoring a trained dog's clear distress. The K9 had saved lives before, detected danger where humans saw nothing, and right now every instinct in that animal screamed that time was running out. Sweat rolled down the officer's temple as they stepped closer, pressing an ear against the trunk. At first there was only silence, then something so faint it almost felt imagined, a dull, hollow sound beneath the bark, not solid wood, not empty either. With a deep breath, the blade pressed into the darkened bark. The first cut released a thick, black sap that oozed down the trunk like old blood. The smell was wrong, metallic and sour, nothing like fresh pine. As the cut widened, the dog's barking shifted, no longer frantic but pleading, as if urging them to hurry. The officer cut deeper, heart pounding, every movement heavy with the fear of what might be revealed. This was no longer about curiosity. This was about the possibility that something, or someone, was trapped, forgotten, left to fade into the forest unnoticed. When the bark finally split open, time seemed to stop. Inside the tree was not rot, not an animal den, but a tightly packed cavity reinforced with old fabric, plastic, and wire, hidden with deliberate care. As more of it was exposed, a small, motionless shape became visible, curled into itself, surrounded by darkness. The officer froze, breath caught in their throat, hands trembling as reality crashed down. This was not nature's doing. This was human cruelty disguised and buried where no one would think to look. Backup arrived quickly, the forest filling with the sound of boots and radios, but the world felt eerily quiet as the cavity was opened fully. Inside was a child, unconscious but breathing, wrapped in layers meant to hide them, not protect them. The dog stopped barking at last, standing perfectly still, eyes fixed on the rescued life as if guarding it from slipping away. Paramedics worked fast, lifting the small body with care, voices low, movements precise, every second critical. The child's skin was cold, their face pale, but there was a pulse. A fragile, stubborn pulse that refused to disappear. As the ambulance doors closed and sirens faded into the distance, the weight of what almost happened settled heavily over everyone left behind. If the dog had not stopped, if the officer had ignored the barking, if one moment of doubt had won, the forest returned to its quiet, but it no longer felt peaceful. It felt like a witness to something terrible that had nearly gone unseen. The old tree stood wounded now, bark peeled back to reveal the truth hidden inside it for far too long. In the days that followed, the story spread, not as a headline about crime, but as a reminder of instinct, loyalty, and the thin line between life and loss. The child survived, slowly recovering, wrapped now in care instead of concealment. The dog was honored, not with medals that mattered little to an animal, but with gentle hands, grateful voices, and the unspoken understanding that a life had been saved because it refused to give up. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that awareness and compassion still matter in a world that often looks away, please like this video, share it with someone, and subscribe to the channel. And before this story ends, take a moment to comment below. Let us know how this made you feel, because your words help keep stories like this alive. Somewhere between the trees and the silence, a choice was made to listen instead of dismiss, to trust instead of doubt. And because of that choice, a life that was meant to disappear into bark and shadow was brought back into the light, proving that sometimes, the loudest warnings come without words, and the greatest heroes walk on four legs.